It's been almost 4 years since I did a quickie review, which was pre-mini reviews of this film right here. And I'm going to go ahead and re-review it since I'm doing a John Cena week. Here's an extended re-review of Playing with Fire. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a re-review of the 2019 family comedy flick Playing with Fire, released by Paramount along with Nickelodeon Movies. The film was directed by Andy Fickman, who recently did She's the Man, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, and The Game Plan, from a screenplay by Dan Ewan and Matt Lieberman based on a story by Ewan. The film stars John Cena along with Keegan Michael Key, John Leguizamo, Brianna Hildebrand, Des Haysbert, Tyler Mane, and Judy Greer, telling the story of a group of smoke jumpers who must watch over three children who they rescue from a burning cabin until child service arrives. And oh yes, and Walden Media was involved in this. This was also released through Paramount's Paramount Players label. Of course, being the second Nickelodeon film to be produced on that after Dora and the Lost Sea of the Gold, which was released the same year. Though the film got dissed though, but it did okay against its budget. So since I've already but if you've not seen this movie, I'd say you should stop the video or what have you. But I will try and just say, which is just a quickie review, but before you go into this. But if you've seen them, but if you've already watched, but if you haven't seen this, I'll just let you go through this. I'll give you when to stop the video. Okay? Let's begin our story. Superintendent Jake Carson is the commanding officer of a group of smoke jumpers in the remote California woodlands. Carson is capable in a crisis and takes tremendous pride in his work, diving into dangerous situations to rescue civilians alongside his team Mark Rogers, Rodrigo Torres, and Axe. After rescuing three children from a burning cabin, Carson is contacted by Division Commander Richards. Richards praises his work and shortlists him to be his replacement, Carson's dream job. Rogers warns Carson they are responsible for the children's welfare. 15-year-old Bryn, 10-year-old Will, and 3-year-old Lear, 4-year-old Zoe, under the safe haven laws requiring law enforcement and first responders to care for children until they are released to a parent or guardian. He leaves a voicemail for the children's mother, who texts back saying that they are on their way. Carson's attempts to complete his application for Division Commander are undermined by the children running haywire around the station and the arrival of his ex, local environmentalist Dr. Amy Hicks, who protests the smoke jumpers taking water from endangered toad habitats to fight fires. She refuses Carson's attempt to offload the children onto her. Despite the mayhem, the rest of the smoke jumpers begin to bond with the children. Toddler Zoe warms up to the brutish Axe, and Torres teaches Will how to navigate dangerous situations. Bryn pays lip service to Roger's admiration of Carson, then stages an escape on the station's ATV, spilling oil and slashing tires to prevent chase. Carson catches them by off-roading on a little girl's bike, cornering the children on a dirt road. Will prompts Bryn to admit that they are orphans on the run from foster care, avoiding their separation. The text messages were from Bryn herself. The group camp out overnight, and Carson promises to hold off calling child services until after Zoe's 4th birthday in 2 days. The group go all out preparing Zoe's birthday, and the 4 smoke jumpers buy presents for Bryn and Will as well. Carson tells Well, a bedtime story about a Ye who was married to his job and had a son and then died on the job because he was distracted by having a family. Brandon and Hicks are both touched by the thinly veiled story of Carson's life, and the overboard birthday party is interrupted by the unexpected arrival of both Richards and Child Services. Now then, I'm going to go ahead and go to the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you have seen the movie, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. The children flee in Richard's car, running it off the road, right on a cliff. Excuse me. Bryn gets trapped in our seatbelt. Carson parachutes down to rescue them, and with Will's help, he frees Bryn before the car rolls off the cliff. Back at the station, Hicks and the other smoke jumpers bid an emotional farewell to the children. Richard tells Carson that family can be a source of support and that there is more to life than working. Inspired, Carson refuses to release the children to child services under the safe haven laws and proposes a plan to adopt all three of them. Sometime later, Carson and Hicks get married with the smoke jumpers and their adoptive children in attendance. End of story. So, what did I think of Playing with Fire? Well, after rewatching it, after I did my quickie review in 2019, I gotta say, this film is a guilty pleasure. It's absolutely very, very funny, and it's crazy. It almost reminded me of all sorts of other fun flicks with kids causing so much mayhem, like The Game Plan, for example, or films that I with, or maybe Mr. Nanny, and oh, there's many others. Anyway, the film was released on November 8th, 2019, where it did okay, being its projections. Opening up the same week, we got Doctor Sleep, Midway, and Last Christmas. So it did okay. It went on to make 96 million. I mean, excuse me, 16. I got mixed up. 69 million worldwide against its 29.9 million budget. Unfortunately, however, critics dissed the film. It's at 24% on Rotten Tomatoes, but they don't say what it was for, though. And well, Cinema Score gave it a decent B plus score, though. But the Observer wasn't thrilled either. They described the premise as beyond inept and calling it a late contender for the worst movie of the year. Well, as always, they're entitled to our. We're all entitled to our own opinions. Now, the film was originally to be released the next year, even before the pandemic struck. So it went to November 8th, from which it was originally to be the release date for Sonic the Hedgehog, which would be released a few months later the following year, even before the pandemic even occurred big time. Nathan Wang does the score for the film, which is fine, what have you. But anywho, I will say I had a blast watching this. I rewatched this a few times when it came to Prime, with it, well, through the courtesy of Epix, which is now MGM Plus. But well, this film has yet to come to Paramount Plus, though, so maybe one day it will. But I've seen this film 2 or 3 more times, and I'm gonna say it's absolutely crazy and wow. If you're into films like and it does have a famous wrestler in it, that being John Cena, of course. After seeing Hulk Hogan and Mr. Nanny and Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, in The Game Plan, I'm gonna say this comes right behind the. Well, actually, it comes smack dab in between those two. Now, for our cast, John Cena plays Jake Carson, and he's absolutely really good. I mean, I enjoy his performance as this just as much as almost as much as I liked his performance in Ferdinand, where of course he voiced the title character. Keegan Michael Key plays Mark Rogers, who is absolutely very funny. John Leguizamo plays Rodrigo Torres, and I like him, especially when he's fixing things up with spam and what have you. Brianna Hildebrand plays Bryn. She's very good. She's pretty good. Dennis Haysbert plays Commander Richards. Judy Greer plays Dr. Hicks, and she's pretty good. Tyler Main plays Axe, who's absolutely really cool. I mean, even after seeing him in X-Men as Sabretooth and then playing Michael Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween remake and its sequel, I think he was pretty good. Now, playing the other kids, there's Christian Convery as Will and Finley Rose Slayer as Zoe. And, well, and since I mentioned X-Men, Daniel Cudmore played Colossus in X2 and X-Men The Last Stand appear in this as a burly smoke jumper, as a matter of fact. Yes. I also liked how little Zoe managed to stop Jake's pet dog Masher and what have you. I mean, just obeyed her. Wow. Like I said, this film's got some crazy moments in it. Too many to mention though, but still, it's pretty gosh darn funny. Definitely. But I don't care. I can defend this film big time. So this film is a guilty pleasure and what have you. But anyway, I think Playing with Fire is pretty funny. I don't think it's, well, one of the best films, but you'll have a pretty fun time with it. So, for my recommendation, I'd say give it a one-time watch. If you're not satisfied with this film, then stick with John Cena's, well, more bigger, tough guy films like The Marine or something like that. Or if you want just a family-friendly one, well, just watch Ferdinand. But anyway, Playing with Fire, it's absolutely really funny. So, what did you think of Playing with Fire? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of Vacation Friends before I watch the second film, which is coming up on Hulu this Friday. So, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, you may want to consider checking out my reviews for a couple of films I've mentioned. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Ferdinand, featuring the voice of John Cena as the titular character. Or if you'd like another wrestler get into a predicament with kids, see my review of Mr. Nanny with Hulk Hogan in the upper right-hand corner. Or if you'd like another Nickelodeon flick, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my spoiler-free review of the new anime feature from Nickelodeon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. Excuse me, everyone. Blooming that. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.